Welcome to the Dear Dyslexic Podcast, where lived experience meets real conversation. We shine a light on the stories that need to be heard with honest and inspiring conversations with people with dyslexia and other neurodivergent conditions like dyscalculia, dysgraphia, ADHD and autism. The Dear Dyslexic Podcast is more than just a show. It's a community, a space for connection and a movement to rethink dyslexia. Subscribe today and join us on our journey, one story at a time. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Dear Dyslexic Podcast. And today I am thrilled to have Diana on the show. And we are going to be talking about women in STEM and particularly Diana's role at Toyota, where she is the Senior Project and Planning Coordinator.
Yes.
I got it right?
Yes.
Product Planning and Development. I missed 4 words out there.
No, it's all right. So my title is Senior Project Coordinator and Planner, and I work in the Product Planning Division.
Right. That's where I got confused. Well, welcome to the show. And I love that we're feeling so relaxed because this is actually only our second studio or third studio interview, but we are moving to this space of being able to sit and have relaxed conversations. So I'm so glad you could join us today. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
Wow, and I was really excited is the word in this podcast. I always use it, but it is exciting because we met at a panel conversation. Mm-hmm. Was it last month or the month before?
It was in June.
Yeah.
It was in June, yeah.
And women in STEM, and I never thought of myself as someone in STEM. I don't really think I am. I don't classify academic research as STEM.
I feel
But
it is.
Do you think?
Yeah, because
I feel excited if I am in that cohort.
100%, because you're science.
I feel smart
You're
if
science.
you say I'm in STEM.
You're science, right?
I was very surprised when they asked me, I'm like, are you sure you want me to come and speak on this panel? But it was just one of the parts of what you were talking about, which really resonated with me, was how many degrees we all had. Like everyone on the panel had so many degrees. And as soon as you said that, I went, this is a kindred spirit to have a further conversation with. So can you share with us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably my neurodivergent. It's like, what part of myself that you want me to share?
Okay, yes, it's very generalised, isn't it? Tell us a little bit about where you grew up. You, when we spoke on the panel, you said you were born in Colombia.
Yep.
And now you're working for Toyota. So how did you get from Colombia to Australia to Toyota?
Yeah.
Is that 3 parts for you? Is that easier?
Yeah, that's perfect. You're giving me perfect context. I love it. When I was 3 years old, my parents decided to take on this big journey to travel from South America, Colombia, to make a better life here in Australia. And so, fortunate to come at a very young age, which means that I got to grow up here in Australia and all the opportunities that Australia have to offer. And throughout school, I was always a smart kid that loved maths and science. And so never had any idea what I wanted to do. It was always like, I don't know. I'm just good at maths. I'm good at science. And so when it was time to go to uni, I, at the last minute, chose engineering and then started my engineering degree. And then we had to do work experience. And I was like, I don't know where I want to work, and applied to a million different places. And Ford hired me as a co-op student. And then that's where my career in automotive started. And I've been very fortunate to work at Ford, Holden, and now at Toyota. So that was that journey to go in the world of STEM.
Wow. And to know that you were good at maths and science in school must have been helpful, because I was terrible at all subjects. I don't remember one that I excelled in at all. So it must have been nice to be in an environment where you could see some of those strengths from a young age.
Yeah. So for me, I was really bad at all the language, not even language, but it was like English. I was horrible at English, having to write stories, even history and geography. There was a whole bunch of subjects that I was like,
geography.
Why am I doing this? But yeah, get me in a science class or a maths class. I was happy just to do maths problems all day long.
Oh my gosh, I wish I could be like that. If you start off with a fraction, I'm gone. I can't even read a recipe. I get the fractions wrong. And then my husband comes home, he's like, why is there so much water in the taco mince? Because that's what it said. And he's like, it said half a cup. I said, I put in 2 cups.
Oh.
So we used to do HelloFresh
because I was trying to
Yep.
like be organised.
Yep.
Because dinners I find really hard if I've worked all day and nothing's planned. But we would end up having these arguments because I can't read the recipe properly.
Oh, no.
And so it would always be slightly out. Because I'm a really good cook, but I cook from just ability. It's not from measurements.
Just from feel.
Unless it's a cake, then that's out the window.
That's
But
a science.
It is a science.
Baking is science.
Yes.
It's chemistry.
Which is why I'm not good at it. But if you ask me to like cook a bolognese, I can cook it with my eyes closed and I just know how to do it, even though I don't eat meat. So we couldn't keep HelloFresh because I couldn't follow the recipes because of the maths. And because my husband likes to stick to a recipe, he couldn't cope if I'd like added extra spice or I'd done something
If you've
slightly
gone rogue,
different.
if you've gone like ad hoc or what's the word?
Yes.
Yeah, just rogue. Just rogue.
I'm a rogue cooker. Oh, I'm a rogue with everything in life, as this podcast will probably digress into different topics.
Love it. Well, we're talking about cooking already.
We are. Science. There we go.
Science, chemistry.
Science, chemistry. So I have been in STEM all my life then because I was going to be a cook, a chef. But what has it been like in the automotive industry? Because that's like your whole career. Did you?
My whole career.
Yeah.
So I think I started working at Ford at 22 years of age. And I haven't really left. I've done some side quests. So I went and studied psychology for a little bit. I worked as a personal trainer for a little bit, even did Uber driving. But in the last 20 years, it's been all automotive. And I just fell into it initially. But as I got to do more of the work, I actually really love it. And I think the thing that drew me most was actually that I was also most of the time the only woman. And so I've always felt really proud about still being a pioneer in some of those spaces.
And so was the Uber driving a side hustle or
It was
because it's still automotive, you're still with cars?
it was a necessity. So
right.
as through anyone goes through their ebbs of their working life, I was made redundant from a job. And so at the time I wasn't sure if I wanted to go back into automotive. I was studying psychology at the time, and so I was trying to pursue that, but obviously couldn't work in the field because I wasn't registered. But I did have an accreditation in personal training, and I was into fitness a lot at that point in time. And so I was like, give this a go. And so Uber driving was a supplement while I was building up my clients. That's how that came
It might have
about.
been because you had a love of cars, so it was in any way, shape or form.
Well, it just worked really well. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah.
What was it like going through uni in engineering? Was it mainly male dominated?
Yeah, so easily in a class of 100 students, and there would, if we were lucky, we had 10 girls. Like I think in my year level we had most like 5 girls. So it's really confronting, and because I came from a girls' school, so it was like, it's really confronting being all girls. So all of us girls, we all knew each other and we all stuck together. But I can't even articulate what the challenges are, but it's just different because you stand out so much just because of your gender.
Did that prepare you for working in a male-dominated industry?
I think it did, because you then got used to managing what it was to be the only woman all the time. So even at university, you would experience certain biases. So, for example, you'd submit an assignment in and you'd get like full marks or whatever, and so the rhetoric was never that you got that because of your capability. It was because, you batted your eyelashes at the lecturer,
right.
and so you got a better score, or you got extra help or whatever.
Yes.
And that rhetoric kind of followed through when I started at work, where we had this forum where we have to go in and get approvals on design changes, and I would go in and always, get them approved. And again, it was like, you just batted your eyelashes. That's why they said yes. But totally discounted the fact that I would go in prepared, try to preempt all the questions and, have all the answers so that they had no reason to reject my request and need to go back and do rework later on. So I guess that has probably been the biggest challenge of working in a male-dominated environment, is often that your capability is discredited a lot. But because that happens, you end up preparing more, and that actually builds your capability.
Yeah. Wow. makes me think about masking a little bit though, having to do all that preparing and extra work that someone else that's not female would have to do. And I guess like that's how we ended up on the panel together, because it was a neurodivergent women in STEM panel. And so when did you find out that you were neurodivergent? I nearly couldn't even say that word.
Neurodivergent.
Do you use that term? Because I don't really use that term to describe myself, but it's a very common term used now.
Yeah, so I'm not fazed by terminology. Like, yeah, I learned in the panel that you were like, yeah, don't love it, right? Because I know other people hate the terminology neurodiverse, for example. Doesn't actually accurately represent what it is to be neurodivergent. For me, my like nickname is neurospicy, but I can appreciate that other people may not appreciate that. So I don't care what we get called. But it wasn't even on my radar until I think I was diagnosed 3 years ago. I didn't even know that because it was never a thing, because I was always seen done well at school. I've been doing these really hard jobs. It was like, yeah, you're a very high achieving, capable, woman. But in the background was I would struggle with like being able to feed myself properly and like doing cooking and cleaning. And I remember my mum would be like, for someone that's as smart as you, how can you be so messy? Turns out I had ADHD.
And my mum would always say to me, go and clean your room, go and clean your room. But when I went through school, if I look at my school reports, there's no indicator that I was ADHD, because I went to a Catholic school. We were raised strict Catholic. So I was always petrified, that anxiety of doing something wrong, where you could see that I had dyslexia and dysgraphia from a young age. But my school reports didn't reflect that, but my bedroom did. Other things outside of school reflected it.
So for me, it was like no one could understand how I would get perfect scores in my maths and science classes and then struggle to hand in assignments for some of my history and geography and English classes. Or I remember an English teacher saying like, good luck to you getting better than a C or whatever. And I think at the time I was like wanting to do medicine, and it was because I had to do English and you need an almost perfect score. So I kind of gave up on that and being like, okay, then dismiss that. I won't get the scores. So it wasn't obvious, but if I look at hindsight, there were little signs to suggest that, okay, there's a reason why I get perfect scores in one subject and not in another.
You love to hyperfocus.
I'm a hyperfocus queen.
But that hyperfocus does have a cost, and I've just started to understand, because similar age, a period of time, I've known for a long time I've had ADHD, but I only formally diagnosed recently. But I didn't realise like that hyperfocus and burnout. And until this year, where I've noticed where I can hyperfocus in, but then I'll have a crash for a weekend now. Have you noticed that in your career, and where you really love something, but then it's drained your battery completely?
Yeah, so I didn't pin it to ADHD at the time, but I know that in my career, in my early 20s, I would go into jobs and I'd find that I'd go all in and go hard for the first few years. And then comes end of second year of doing that role, third year, there was a lack of motivation, and there was a thing in me that just wouldn't let me to keep going, and I'd have to find something new. And often it would bring a lot of anxiety, and it also resulted in some depression, because I'd be there thinking like, what is wrong with me? Like, I've been doing this for 3 years. I loved it. How do I not enjoy this anymore? And so with that, it does result in some burnout, because you put in all this effort and then you can't do it anymore, and you're struggling to get out of bed now. And then your weekends are like trying to recover to, get that energy to get back out there and go back to work. And I've noticed those cycles come time and time and time again. And more recently, again, in a job that I actually really love doing, and I've just gone all in, and it's really hard, and pushed myself to the point where my health is now severely impacted, whether it be through getting sick all the time. Yeah.
And it's like, for me, I think I would leave a job every 2 to 3 years because I'd get bored. But it was still the same industry, and the same with you. Like, you're still stuck in the same industry.
Yeah.
But just needed a different bit of excitement, do you think?
Yeah,
Or,
I think it is. And when I look back, because that's part of why I wanted, because I thought it was maybe I hate engineering. And so that's why I went to study psychology. And I'm like, I'm going to become a psychologist, right? That's what I'm going to do next. And it took a really long time because I was working full time and studying part time. And then even then I was getting bored with the psychology as well. I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And then I'd have to take breaks. And then instead of I'd work full time and I'd be like, I can't just work. I have to do something else. And so I then would do a personal training course. That's how I ended up being a personal trainer. And then I was like, oh my God, okay, go back to psychology, finish psychology, can't afford to do the masters because that's $60,000. So I won't register, but let me do a life coach. And I do a life coach.
yes, continuous learning.
Yes. So I think that's probably how my ADHD really, really shows up and I've learned that by doing other courses is what helps to itch the brain when I get bored at work, because changing jobs is not always viable.
No, and that's that lifelong love of learning, even though my dyslexia's slowed me down with my reading and then my dysgraphia with my writing, but I've always loved learning. But I think for me, my doctorate was my hyperfocus, because I knew no one else had done this research and I knew it was important. And particularly when my mum was dying, it was like my ability to hyperfocus in on something. I could shut everything out.
Yeah.
And I think, that's one of the nice things of being hyper-focused, but I can also see now when I do that, it comes at a cost to my family, because then I don't think about anyone else. And it looks like I'm being really selfish. And so I find that that's a real balancing act now, because I can't keep learning because I've got too many things going on now. But I often think, should I do a counselling course? Or I'd love to do psychology, but I didn't do it because of the maths. So
it's such a tiny portion.
I know, but at the time, and then when I got into speech pathology, it was as a mature age student, because my score was really low when I left school, partly because I wanted to be a chef. And there was maths in the whole of my speech pathology anyway. We had to do stats, and so probably could have done psychology, but that's okay.
100%.
Using my speech pathology now in many ways, running up my business. But yeah, I do miss that lifelong learning since I finished my doctorate, because I had to draw a line in the sand and say,
enough is enough.
Enough is enough. Yeah. I don't think my husband would let me do, though I do think about a postdoctorate. But yeah, that lifelong learning is just, I think, an innate, just that brain wanting to do something all the time. It doesn't stop.
Yeah, I think that's the brain not wanting to stop, because always thinking and the ruminating. Even for example, coming here today, it was really hard to focus on my work in the morning, because I was wanting to think about, the podcast, what am I going to talk about? What do I want to say? And yeah.
And then we were so late. Oh gosh. It's funny because last time we were here, I was late getting here. So this morning I had everything planned. So I was here early. And so something always throws the timing for an ADHD person. It doesn't matter how hard you try.
Yep.
And so having ADHD working in STEM or working in your roles in general, do you think that's helped you in any ways?
Yeah, I think probably in the area that I got into, I think a lot of my colleagues are also neurodivergent. And so that's probably another reason why I didn't realize that ADHD was on the radar for me, because a lot of my colleagues are the same and they're also undiagnosed or late diagnosis. And so I didn't really notice, but probably where that's helpful is that I found my group of like-minded people. But I don't know, I think having my type of ADHD, just that love of maths and the love of science, that's probably what makes me really strong as an engineer, because that is what my background is. Even though I'm working as a project manager now, it's, a lot of the work that you do is you have to go and find the root cause of the issue, and that hyper-focus allows you to get that. And it's almost a relentless, dog with a bone to get to the bottom of it, much to the dismay of many of my managers, because they're like, it's good enough. No, that's not it. We've got to go further.
Where for me, it's what is the phrase where it's just good enough? Mm-hmm. So the opposite of you. It's never going to be fair. For me, I'm okay. That's never going to be perfect.
Yeah. I want to go perfect, but it's not even about that. It's about not wanting to be half-assed. It's not and it's not even that it's half-assed. It's just that addresses it. But if we want to really fix this properly, this is where we got to go. And yeah, I think that's where my ADHD really goes in with the hyperfocus. But there's other things where I'm like, yeah, that's good enough.
If you haven't done so already, make sure you sign up to our mailing list so you can keep up to date with everything we are doing at Rethink Dyslexia. So head to rethinkdyslexia.com.au. And don't forget, if there's anything you heard today that was distressing, you can contact Lifeline on 13 11 14 or Beyond Blue on 1300 22 46 36. Thanks for listening and bye for now.